Hey Facebook, I haven't been on this week. I don't have an explanation. I've been kind of busy, a little bit. Anyways, but I wanted to hop on today to talk about disappearing women. Are you a disappearing woman? If this is your first time watching me live, my name is Stacey Herrera, and I am a body, love, and pleasure strategist. I help women to enjoy their bodies, live delicious lives, and cultivate conscious relationships. And today I'm going to be talking about disappearing women. If you are subscribed to my newsletter, which I hope you are, then I had earlier in August, I think, that I did a newsletter about disappearing women. But there was a piece that I missed. I talked about the bitter disappearing woman. So a disappearing woman is someone who loses herself. So the bitter side of being a disappearing woman is that you say yes to things that you don't want to do. You put everyone else's needs before your own, and you're resentful of that. Like, bitter disappearing women have a tendency to be angry a lot of the time. There's a lot of disgruntled energy that she just doesn't know what to do with. So she's not ever really happy, just and not always pissed off, but she has a penchant for being pissed off, because she's just so frustrated because there's just not enough space in her life for herself, or at least that's what she thinks. And so she is lost in her work, she's lost in her family, she's constantly doing and not really receiving. But that's the bitter side of being a disappearing woman. But there's also an oblivious side of being a disappearing woman. So, like, the oblivious disappearing woman is on the same spectrum, but on the opposite end. She is likely in a relationship that she loves. She thinks that the sun rises and sets on her partner. She wants to be his or her end all be all. She doesn't think for herself anymore. If you ask her what she wants, her response will be, if you're her partner, her response will be, well, what do you want? Because she doesn't think for herself. She starts to like whatever her partner likes. So her taste in music changes. She stops hanging out with her friends. Now all she wants to do is just drink and eat and sleep everything that is about her partner. So sometimes her work suffers. She might see a spike in creativity because she is so turned on that she might see a spike in creativity, but sometimes she's not really doing anything with it because all she really wants to do is spend all of her time with her partner all the time. She's essentially disappearing. Now, the reason, whether you are a bitter disappearing woman or an oblivious disappearing woman, the reason is the same. Both of those women disappear because they don't think that they're enough. The bitter disappearing woman doesn't think she's enough to stand up and speak for herself. She doesn't think she's good enough, so she doesn't set clear boundaries. The oblivious disappearing woman doesn't think she's good enough, and so she reveres her partner and she starts to look at him or her as if they are so much better than her. So rather than be herself, she would rather be that person. So she takes on all of their characteristics, all of their traits. Even her tone of voice and the language she uses changes. Now, keep in mind, we do become a lot like the 5 people we spend the most time with. You do pick up traits and patterns of the people you spend the most time with. However, all of your traits shouldn't change. And if you are taking on all of the qualities of your partner, what that really means is that you're not spending enough time with yourself doing things that you enjoy. You're not spending enough time with your friends. So you're not cultivating a life outside of that person. And this is why that's dangerous. It is dangerous. It's already it already feels like a gamble when you're in a relationship and you are being vulnerable and letting someone in your heart. So there's a part of you that always thinks, like, this person can break my heart. But if you disappear inside of that person, they can actually destroy your life. Like, that relationship ending can feel like everything, like, because you won't know who you are in the absence of that person. So the reason I'm talking about this today is because it's so important to maintain your sovereignty. It is important to be interdependence is severely important in our society. We are definitely we are the kind of animals that socialize, so we need other people, we need a tribe. That's important. So but there also, interdependence has a layer of independence in it. You need to be able to know who you are alone, and not to be alone, but you need to be able to identify yourself and ground into your selfness, because that actually gives you something to offer to the other person. It's very easy to burn out the other person and yourself if you get lost in the relationship. There has to be some differences so that you can continue to grow and expand each other. I was having a conversation with my daughter earlier today, and we were talking about like opposites attracting, and the reason that that's true is because if you are attracted only to yourself, that limits how much you can grow. What is there to learn if you're just living in your own experience? So you need the contrast of other people who are different than you, and often that shows up in the form of a partner. You need someone who doesn't have all your same characteristics, someone that can reflect back who you are but also reflect some difference so that you can continue to expand and grow. So it's so important to be with somebody that is different from you. But if you become them, if you become that person, then the growth kind of gets very limited. So sovereignty is so very important. So I am not at all saying like don't be in a relationship and don't like love your partner and don't love everything about them. Absolutely love with your whole heart. Be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to surrender, but you also have to be willing to stand in your own power. You have to be willing to command and wield your own greatness, because that actually is a gift for you and it's a gift for your partner. Because in the same way that that person's oppositeness helps you to grow, your oppositeness is expansive for your partner as well. So that's what I have to say today. That's my little sermon. If you know a woman, because I know you know somebody. If it's not you, you know somebody that's disappearing. If you know a disappearing woman, share this with her. And again, not with judgment, not as a girl, you need to, not that, but just as a, look, here is a perspective that you might be interested in exploring. So share it from a very genuine, beautiful, intentional space with no judgment and no criticism and none of that. Just as a sister, like, just share, because that's how we grow. That's how we expand, by sharing with one another. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back again live talking about life, love, relationship stuff, because we all just need to get better, right? I will talk to you soon. And again, if you're not on my newsletter, you need to subscribe at staceyherrera.com. I share some of my best stuff in my newsletter. It's my absolute favorite thing and my easiest thing to write. So you definitely want to be on there, because I talk about stuff that I don't necessarily talk about online. So there you go. So I will see you guys later. Bye.